If you're a marketer, content creator, or even business owner, you would understand how fast things are moving now that it's 2025, especially in SEO where there's major core algorithm updates and even different features within the searches. So it's extremely important to stay up to date with different marketing trends so you can plan out your 2025 SEO strategy, especially highlighting in 2025 where traditional SEO marketing strategies aren't the main focus anymore. And the new SEO is GEO. GEO stands for Generative Experience Optimization. And GEO is basically the process of optimizing your website so you're more visible within generative search engines such as ChatGPT or even Claude. I'm going to jump into the step-by-step process you should be taking so you're ahead of the competition and you can start gaining all of this traction for your website with this new SEO strategy. Alright guys, I'm going to jump into what is Generative Experience Optimization and how do you optimize for it. So basically, Generative Experience Optimization or GEO is utilizing LLM models such as ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, even Copilot, and really optimizing your content so you're more visible with these chatbot LLM models and having more of your brand be recognized and generating results for this. So before I jump into that, I want to explain why this is the new SEO and why you should be really focusing on increasing your visibility within these chatbot LLMs. So we're looking at more of the overall search engine market share from 2023 and 2024. And as you can see here, Google has dipped within a year, negative 1.55%. Even though this doesn't seem like a lot, but this is actually billions of users they're losing. And then you can see here within Bing and Yandex, they're gaining more of this traffic share. And you can see Bing basically increased by, if you round it up, 1%, which is huge for them. And then you have Baidu and DuckDuckGo, which Baidu is decreasing and DuckDuckGo is basically staying stagnant and stable. And then basically LLM models are gaining also more of this market share where people are actually using LLM chatbots for basically their searches. So basically with SearchGPT now being free use for everybody, it's no longer in beta. It's expected to increase by 1% in 2025, which is a lot of users. Now I want to highlight why Google is getting a decrease within market share, and this is the first time in like history they're getting such a huge decrease. But as you can see here, this is a graph from 2002 to 2023, which basically highlights how much revenue they're getting year over year, and you can see they're just gaining a huge increase when it comes to their overall revenue. Even though they're getting an increase of revenue, this wouldn't make sense until why they're getting a decrease within just the market share and users, right? Like it would make sense if they're gaining more revenue and that's due to an increase within the users, right? And Google's in full panic mode, by the way, and they're making it seem like everything is sunshine and rainbows. And in reality, they're really seeing a decrease in users, but the reason they're getting an increase in revenue is the main reason why they're also getting a decrease within their market share is because they're literally just pumping out so much ads within their search engine results pages where it's basically unbearable, right? And then you have additional features such as AI overviews, which was also known as SGE, where it's taking up a lot of real estate when it comes to the search engine results pages as well. And you have to really scroll down to get organic, websites based on the search query you're searching for. And here's just like an overall example of what I mean. So for example, if I search for a long tail keyword such as how much does pest control cost, you have more of this sponsored section, which they like recently added, where they're creating ads for basically Google My Businesses, which is at the top. Then you have an AI overview, which basically also takes a majority of the space, which is also like a form of LLM chatbots, where the reasoning why you should be focusing your SEO strategy on is because AI overviews are increasing in frequency. And not only that, they're also taking up a majority of the space when it comes to the search and gaining a lot of traction within specific search queries. Then you also have the organic listings as well. And this is just basically making it more unbearable for, searches. I know like Google searches is not the way anymore. And a lot of people are not enjoying the overall experiences with Google. This is just one aspect of it. Second aspect is Google is consistently creating a lot of algorithm updates, making the search engine results pages volatile. And an example of this is the helpful content update, where a lot of websites have been affected with the helpful content update and they've seen a huge decrease, even though they've been following best practices. And I'm sure some of you guys in the audience have experienced, a really huge decrease based on the high amount of core updates Google has been dishing out. And even though you guys have been following or just overall best practices, you're still seeing a negative effect every single time a core algorithm update rolls out. And you can see here just more of 2023 to 2024 core algorithm updates. And yeah, so the reasoning for this, I believe, is ever since ChatGPT has been released, there's been more of an influx with AI content. A lot of marketers are taking, a really lazy approach where they're just piggybacking off of the creation of AI content, and Google's having a hard time to really keep up with this. And it's also really affecting the searches as well. Like the quality within the searches is not as best. Like even when I'm searching, I can really see like what content is AI written, and it's like just a lazy approach. So yeah, this is also another reasoning for the excessive core algorithm updates. They have a bunch of spam updates as well, trying to limit this, and the influx of just pushing a lot of ads. In return, there's been a huge decrease within the market share, and yeah, like Google's having a whole fiasco. But there's also pros and cons. The pros is there's more, different platforms, and we're not at the mercy of the Google basically monarchy. And yeah, there's actually a good thing where there's other platforms where you should be focusing on as well, and there's not this overall one, you know, platform like as in Google where you're SEO optimizing. It's also good to basically build a brand now and really just focus on social media platforms, not only social media platforms, but search engine um, LLMs such as ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, etc. Now that I highlighted why GEO is the next move within 2025 and what it is, I'm gonna dive deeper into how do you really optimize for GEO. And it's as simple as that, optimizing for SEO, but it's more of just shifting your focus on the specifics when it comes to SEO. That helps you increase visibility with GEO. And the two main pillars is content creation and link building. Obviously, technical SEO fits within this factor, like optimizing your JavaScript, but I really want to just focus more on content creation and link building, since this is what really, chat bot LLMs are looking for when looking for data for dishing out certain responses for queries. So when it comes to content creation, it's important to match the intent of what keyword you're optimizing. And based on the keyword you're optimizing, it's important to target the keywords and create keyword research and implement a good amount of keyword density within the content naturally. And then what's also important is the structure of your content with best practices. And I'll dive more into this, but I just want to give you like a highlight overview. And I think link building is going to be more important than ever, such as brand mentions are important, which will in return increase authority. But the reasoning link building is important is because I feel like there's, due to the influx of creation of content, due to, you have AI to really help you support and create AI in abundance. I think content isn't as important since it's abundant. Whereas link building really showcases your brand with brand mentions and increases more of that trust and authority. That doesn't mean content creation is still not, king. You need to create content with targeted keywords to really rank for the keywords that you want to, rank for. But link building is just, from what I've seen and working with clients, link building is just a stronger factor when it comes to ranking, especially when it comes to um, basically being within the search generative results within these chatbot LLMs. And as I said before, it's really important to not only optimize for Google but for Bing, and not really just laser focus on Google, but for Bing as well, since Bing is also gaining more of that traffic share, and it's important to really pull in the new users going into Bing to your basically marketing funnel. But unlike Google, and Bing values more of the exact match keywords. So really optimizing and really having a good amount of keyword density that fits naturally within the content really impacts how you're going to rank for Bing. But overall, just optimizing for Bing is the same way for Google, but it's the they focus more on exact keywords, from what I've seen. And then same thing, you really want to focus in on adding images and videos, so you really have more of that experience and expertise, like personal experience expertise when it comes to your content, and following more of that EAT, which is experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. Majority, like I said before, like a lot of people are really just creating content with taking the lazy approach using just AI and not really implementing more of that EAT aspect and really just optimizing for the search engines, not the users. It's important to really, create content that relates and relates with the users, so you increase more of that conversion based on the content you're creating. And then from that, you can upload your sitemaps. Within this case, Google Search Console for Google and Bing Webmaster Tool. So that way, you can really see what pages are being indexed and what pages aren't being indexed, and you have a higher chance for the crawlers to crawl your sitemap and crawl the. Now that you get more of a better understanding of the important pillars when it comes to optimizing for GEO with SEO, I'm gonna dive into more of the specifics. So basically, the way chatbot LLMs work is they follow this RAG, or retrieval augmented generation, process. So basically, RAG enhances how LLMs work by grounding them with factual information, and rather relying on pre-trained knowledge, they make the response more reliable and precise. And the way this is done is basically chatbot LLMs use the web as their database. And the way it works is when you search for a query, they retrieve relevant data. Basically, OpenAI is pulling data from Bing. So this is why it's also important to really highlight your marketing strategy and incorporate Bing optimization, and uploading your sitemap to Bing Webmaster Tools and really highlighting on that as well, since like that's a main important factor. And this is a search engine that they're really just working hand in hand with when it comes to retrieving relevant data, such as top relevant documents or data points. And this basically is like articles, websites, or internal documents. Then the next step in the process is augmented query with retrieved data. So basically all the data that they received is basically the context for the generation phase. Then they generate the response. The large language model basically uses the response from these three steps. So now that you know how LLMs basically pull data, stored data that is, for generating responses, I'm gonna dive into really the best steps to increase and or enhance the visibility of your website or brand when it comes to this. So step one is basically the content structure. The content structure is really the most important point on when it comes to having that visibility increased and really structuring the content. So this is more of how to structure your blog post, or not even blog post, but this can also work for just your overall like landing page that you're doing. Going back more on RAG, or retrieval augmented generation, it really relies on factual and accurate data. So this is why it's important to really have external links pointing to a source that's really trusted when it comes to creating your content that has facts that need to be pointed out, and also having up-to-date data that's correct. um, so yeah, like I said before, using clear headings, subheadings, bullet points, and really segmenting your content that's really clear and concise. Implementing FAQs is also a really great way to break down common questions directly, and also have a chance to really rank for that people also ask section when it comes to search engines. So for example, if you really want to rank for a long tail keyword, it's important to implement it within the content, like as an H2, and answer that as quickly and as concise as possible. This way, it has an easier time with the crawlers searching this and really using this data when it comes to generating a response within the LLM models. And then at step two is really adding structured data. There's different types of schema markups depending on the content you're posting. So for example, there's article schema markups, local business to really highlight the local business, website, or even a product if you're selling products online and stuff, videos, etc. So basically the benefit for this for LLM models is it plays a crucial role when it comes to enhancing visibility, and search bots really have an easier time understanding structured data or schema markup, which basically is like an HTML that correlates with the content that you're delivering. And based off of this, it basically acts as a blueprint defining the format and the meaning of your data, which significantly enhances data for algorithms. And then, like I said before, brand mentions, which aka backlinks, are the most important aspect of this. So brand mentions, as I mentioned before, basically serves as a trust factor, a vote of confidence, which basically showcases your authoritativeness and credibility. So as an example, within ChatGPT, I've searched best pest control company in New Jersey. And then obviously factors such as on-page SEO and local SEO helps. So majority of these businesses, or actually all these businesses, have a local Google business profile. But the thing I really want to highlight is more of the brand mentions. So we can see here this website is ranking, number one when it comes to the generative response. But what I really want to highlight more is basically the websites that are mentioning these brands. So when I said before, brand mentions are really important, you can see here a really important website, authoritative website, is Wikipedia, which is basically mentioning these brands right here. And same thing right here as well. We got Terminex, which is being mentioned within Wikipedia. And this is why I'm saying backlinks is the new focus when it comes to 2025, and really increasing more of that visibility when it comes to generative experience optimization. And this is more of just a different case study from products instead of the local business highlight I did. So if you search within Claude, you can search what office chairs improve posture, and it'll come with the overall list of different brands on what brand is basically best for your posture, right? You have Herman Miller Aeron, Steelcase Gesture, and again, Herman Miller. And basically what Herman Miller did is they've created 273 pages from brand mentions, news publications, etc. for their brand. So within here, within Hrefs, we have Herman Miller Ergonomics. They have 273 pages, and they've literally created backlinks for their brand. But within the backlinks, they really highlighted more of the top rated ergonomics for back pain, Herman Miller versus Steelcase, which is more of like a product review, competitor review. Same thing we're here. Designed for New World, Herman Miller Gaming Collaborations, where they basically talk about the product as well, or even just a listicle. So burst ergonomic chairs for your home office in 2024, and within this, they also have a brand mention. So all these brand mentions really work in your favor when it comes to the search engine's RAG system, as I explained before, where they're pulling a lot of data and citations to really generate the response that they have. There's more in depth on the backlinks to created with the review type styles, or the product like PR campaigns, and even the paid sponsored postings. There's a majority of businesses that don't even know that this is happening. Even aside from optimizing for the LLM generative experiences, it's important to know, like I showed before, AI overviews, which is taking a majority of the real estate when it comes to the SERPs. Really following the strategy that I showcased can really increase the overall visibility for your brand. And if you want a step-by-step tailored strategy on how you can implement this within your brand, you can always feel free and reach out and email me, or come to my website at ricardowith2z's.com and book a discovery call there as well. And we can hop in a free 30-minute consultation call on what we can do to really improve that overall visibility. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it within the comments below and I'll get back to you. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.